I'm not going to answer that. Go fuck yourself.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Wednesday Night Gentlemen Multimedia Empire official podcast. This is episode number 61. This is a podcast where we like to talk about things like comic books, movies, TV shows, video games, and everyone's favorite political discourse. I am your host, Tactic Angel, and with me is Midget Radio, my murderous socialist friend.
Hello.
Hello, Midget Radio. How are you today?
I'm doing pretty well, Tactic Angel. How are you?
I'm doing pretty okay, too.
That's great. That's great to hear.
I'm going to get this out of the way real quick. I'm drinking a new whiskey today.
Ooh, that's exciting.
I'm drinking Wild Turkey Rare Breed.
Wow.
It is, as the label says, and this is the only reason why I bought it, cask strength whiskey, not cut with water.
Huh.
So when you look at like the 101 proof,
wow,
of the standard Wild Turkey, that's because they added water to what I'm drinking.
Holy shit. Is it? Well, how is it?
It's actually better than the other Wild Turkeys. So whatever the water is they're putting in it is not great.
Wow.
It's not adding a lot to it. It's obviously strong.
Yeah.
And it's I think it's 116 proof, 117,
Wow,
something like that.
Fuck me, yeah.
So if this episode goes long, God only knows what's gonna happen.
It's a good thing we do this over the phone so that I can call 911 just in case. Like, Tactic Angel suddenly unresponsive. unresponsive. I'll know.
Too much whiskey.
I'll just start talking about Star Trek Discovery, and if I don't get a response, then I know it's a fucking emergency.
I think that even if I were in a coma, I could scream loud enough.
Smelling salts. Michael Burnham.
Ah! I'm sure you have something to drink. I'm sure it's Bullet.
Yeah, fuck yeah. I got the old Bullet bourbon.
I remember when I used to drink Bullet bourbon.
It's kid stuff.
God, it's only like 2/3 the alcohol is this.
That's fucking nuts. How rare is the rare breed? Like, was it easy to find? Did you have to go out of your way?
No, it's just at the normal liquor store I always go to. And I want to say it wasn't that expensive. I want to say it was in the $20 range.
Oh yeah, okay.
So, college kids, if you're looking to get fucked up in a hurry, there you go.
Right?
You don't need to drink
with absinthe, man.
Everclear. I'm gonna drink Everclear. I'm gonna put 90%.
Yeah.
High C and lemonade in it.
Fucking pussies.
Yeah. Also completely gross.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Ugh.
I think I've completely moved past the mixed drinks at this point. I was having that conversation a couple days ago. Right? I
can do a Jack and Coke. I can do a vodka smoothie if I really wanted to. I could do a Manhattan. There are, but I'm gonna take some real liquor and I'm going to put it with something that says I don't like to drink.
Yeah. High fructose corn syrup.
Well, I mean, technically Jack and Coke does the same thing, but I think there's something just kind of classic about a Jack and Coke.
That's true.
True. I don't know. Just don't use Jack, but do use Coke.
Yeah. Message from WNG. Anyway.
We could probably just talk about drinking for 2 hours. Anyway.
Probably could.
We're not going to, though. We're going to talk about a couple of things. First of all, Comic-Con. Comic-Con is a thing that happens in San Diego. It's the mecca of geekdom, where annually thousands of nerds flock to a natural desert to engage in, ostensibly, their love of comic books. But increasingly, kind of feels like it's just about anything related to movies or TV shows.
Yeah.
Plus, it's a great opportunity to stare at the sweet-ass hotties dressed up as your favorite fictional female character.
Mm-hmm.
Or male character, I guess you could. I don't know.
Sure.
No accounting for taste. Do either one. Do both. God, I don't even care. I'm not going to that godforsaken planet. There were two trailers in particular that we want to talk about today. One is Star Trek Discovery, which is usually called STD for short. Then there is the Orville. Star Trek Discovery is, of course, the CBS restricted access television program that reboots and retcons all of Star Trek. The Orville is a show that is from the not-so-visionary creator of The Family Guy, which is a little bit like Galaxy Quest with fart jokes.
Mm.
We have seen both of these trailers. Midget Radio.
Yeah.
If I were to give you free reign and say, what do you think of either one of them? Where would you start?
I don't know. Actually, if you gave me free reign, first I would use that opportunity to mention that, Arch Enemy was at the San Diego Comic-Con? That fucking metal band? I don't know why, but that seems weird, right?
I'm not really sure. As you recall, the Bethesda conference also had what's his futz out there.
That's true. It's weird. I don't know. It's weird. It made me wish I was there, though. Anyway,
if it was Amon Amarth, maybe.
That would be fucking amazing. Yeah. That would have been. Anyway,
relaunching Thor. They get them to come out. Yes.
I would love to see like a fucking Amon Amarth scored Thor fucking black metal opera. That would be amazing. That would be the best movie ever. Anyway, so of these two trailers, god damn it. Do we want to talk about Discovery? Do we want to talk about Lenny Kravitz presents Star Trek Discovery?
Here's the thing. These two trailers were very similar, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess so. There was shit in space and things happened.
And
I don't know.
Obnoxious 20th century music.
Oh, well, that is true. That is true. That I kind of at least expected with the Orville, but
yeah, I mean, that was kind of the thing that I noticed when you see like the Orville trailer, and I watched that one first because I actually liked that show.
Sure.
And so I watched it, and it's like, this is exactly what I expected from an Orville trailer.
Yeah.
There were a couple things I really liked about it, and we'll go into that maybe a little bit later, because right now I'm just talking about comparisons. Then I watched the Star Trek Discovery trailer, and then it's like, I want to get away. And it's like, true.
Yeah. It immediately took me back to Star Trek 3, or fucking Star Trek Beyond or whatever, with Beastie Boys being like a plot element in the fucking show, or in the movie. I mean, did they see that? Like, did the guys who made Discovery see that movie and they were like, this is what we need. This is what the show was missing.
Is that what you think happened? Because I kind of thought, because you watched it all the way to the end, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And so then they have the elevator scene.
Yes.
And between that scene and like, you're floating towards a pulsar. Oh, good. I thought we were going to die. Like that. And then there was the, don't worry, Discovery has you, right, girls? And it's,
yeah, it's very cute.
And I was like, I think Star Trek Discovery is trying to split the difference between Star Trek Beyond and the Orville.
Maybe. Yeah. Yeah.
Which, I mean, I will accept conceptually a portion of your criticism against the Orville as being something that tries to be like Star Trek.
Yeah.
And I don't think like you can just say this one thing tries to be like another, therefore whatever the other is bad. Like just because you do an idea second doesn't mean that your idea can be without merit.
Well, of course, yeah, that's
otherwise
true.
Iron Man wouldn't be awesome.
Yeah.
Nobody would like the Submariner. Even though he's totally way more interesting than Aquaman.
Oh, totally.
He actually is, because he gets to bang Sue Storm. Like,
yeah,
that's
well, he's an asshole. I mean, that's what's kind of fun about him, but
and that and Sue Storm. Anyway,
yeah. I mean, why wouldn't you? But yeah,
I don't. Well, Sue Storm and sex brings up a lot of very interesting concepts, but we're going to.
I mean, there's no way, because that would be creepy, but
right?
Yeah. It depends on her sense of humor. Like, if she's kind of a prankster, then it would suck, but
if I close my eyes, it's basically the same.
Yeah, still tactile, so, you know.
Anyway, this is going well. This is going well. So I definitely watched it, and I said, holy shit, the Orville tries to be Star Trek like.
Yeah.
Because I mean, Seth MacFarlane is obsessed with Star Trek.
Yeah.
To the point of, like, he's a big Hollywood actor. The first time he met the crew of the Enterprise, everyone who tells the story is like, he just sat there with this big stupid grin on his face the whole night. I don't think he said one full sentence.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Just like, Data.
Yeah.
Captain. And anyway, so you understand why he made this thing.
Yeah.
The way that he did. But then Star Trek Discovery is AIDS, right? It's space AIDS. It's like
my instinct is to push back on that because it's so severe, but I can't think of, a way to push back on that. On that characterization.
If you are a healthy person and you watch Star Trek Discovery long enough and you do not self-medicate,
yeah,
you will die.
Yeah, you will. You will. You absolutely will. Yeah.
So I think they probably looked out and saw a whole world of people who they thought was like a layup of getting them on board.
Yeah.
And I want to say probably 3/4 to 9/10 of Star Trek fans just hate it.
That seems like about the right number, right? I can't find anybody who can say anything. Like, the most positive thing I've heard about it is, it's not bad. Like, and even that is rare to hear from anyone.
Well, the thing is, like, I remember when TNG was on and when DS9 was on, and hell, even when Voyager and Enterprise were on, there were actually Star Trek people who would talk about Star Trek.
Yeah.
I can't find anybody who even watched more than 1 or 2 episodes of STD.
Yeah.
They got out just in time.
Yeah. It's true.
But so I think, like, they heard that audience and they're like, well, we need to do something. And then they look around and they're like, well, Star Trek Beyond, people kind of like that, or like they're doing better at least.
Yeah.
Or the Orville. Orville, maybe what we did is we became the DC Comics of fucking awful space drama.
Yeah. Yeah,
maybe we should put some jokes in.
But maybe, I don't know what the fuck they're thinking, but Yeah, I bet that's an ingredient. I absolutely bet that was batted around the fucking writer's room for a while. And just anecdotally, I met this dude at work who's also like a pretty huge Star Trek fan, and so we kind of connected on that. And the first time we talked about Trek, we talked about all of the series, and then we were talking about like the movies, the original movies, and just kind of ranking them and that shit. Talked about like DS9, Cisco with hair, and Cisco shaved and with beard. And talked about all of that kind of shit. And I didn't realize until the next day that we had this entire conversation about the Star Trek TV series and the Star Trek movies without ever once mentioning the Abrams verse and without ever fucking once talking about Discovery. We just completely ignored that. And I went up to him the next day and I was like, man, when we were talking about Trek, like we didn't talk about Discovery at all. And the facial expression, just priceless. Just priceless.
Straight to rage,
yeah,
probably.
Just immediate. Just that immediate, that pause, sigh. I need to collect my thoughts and figure out how to express the next sentence without getting fired from this job, basically.
So, yeah. No,
yeah.
I completely get it. And that's a reasonable reaction to most of the people who like Star Trek, because most of the people who like Star Trek are into conference room scenes.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Not one happened.
No.
They're not so much. I mean, TOS has its share of straight up magic.
Yeah.
But Force Ghost Vulcan mind meld across space.
Yeah.
We start getting into some retcons where you just like, I don't like this.
Yeah, it's just senseless. I mean, it doesn't. Yeah, it's absolutely senseless.
Because people didn't like Vulcans enough before. We have to give them magic.
Yeah,
they're just space elves.
Yep, pretty much.
So, but like I understand completely what you're saying, because almost any time I talk about Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
I always refer to it as a trilogy.
Yeah.
And I always refer to The Last Crusade as the last one.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're like, you mean Crystal Skull? And I'm like, oh yeah. Like,
yeah.
I'm not doing it intentionally. When I call Star Trek Discovery, when I call STD AIDS, like, that's intentional.
Yeah.
Me forgetting that Crystal Skull exists is my mind dealing with trauma.
Yeah. It's a natural reaction. A perfectly reasonable defense mechanism. Yeah.
But I mean, it's hard to ignore when you're being waterboarded.
Yes.
And Star Trek Discovery is still on the air.
Yeah, God. I mean, it is a sustained torture. So, okay, so then speaking I guess specifically to the actual trailer that we saw, right? So we get Pike, who, I mean, he had the yellow shirt, right? He had a yellow shirt on. So everything's coming together.
Immediately when you see it, though, you're like, this is like when not Generations, but what, Insurrection, when nobody sent out the memo about the uniform.
Yeah.
Because everybody's wearing a different uniform. You're like, well, if everybody's wearing a different uniform, nobody's wearing a uniform.
Yeah.
Because it's not
right.
Uniform.
Right. Is it Casual Friday every fucking day? Yeah. I don't know.
So then it's back and forth with are they wearing the Star Trek Discovery thing? Are they wearing the...
And I don't care. I just don't care. I do feel like maybe Anson Mount, like, I don't know, that actor. I feel like, if they had decided to maybe make a show that was actually about Christopher Pike, he's not bad. He doesn't seem like a bad option from what very little we saw in the trailer. I'm trying to find positive things to say about this.
Well, no, I'm completely with you, because when I saw Anson Mount was in it, I was like, well, this is actually probably not a bad choice. And when they were like, he's gonna play Christopher Pike, you're like, okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
As long as Spock isn't a part of this,
and then,
we should be okay.
But that's like the whole. So that seems like a significant aspect of what's going to be the thrust of this season, right? There's some space horseshit, and Spike, and I'm sorry, there are like weird spikes or whatever in space, and Spock is somehow connected to them, and like that's what they're gonna fucking, I guess, deal with.
And it's gonna be like this big reveal when you see Spock, because I don't even think they've announced who's playing him. It's like
not yet,
super secret.
Yeah, but it's gonna be huge, and no doubt it's gonna completely fucking just rape Star Trek canon, and I don't know how many suicides it's gonna result in, but
oh, you are gonna love it though.
Number.
You are going to love it. I have a theory.
Okay.
Because this show is so good at defying expectations. Spock will be played by Venus Williams.
Oh, God damn it. Sure, why the fuck not? What does it fucking matter anymore? Yeah. Yeah. God damn it.
It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. Wait, you don't like that change? Well, it's probably because you're a racist or a sexist.
I hate them both. I hate races and I hate the women. So, that's it. Just can't get past it.
Yep. It's not because whatever they do is probably going to be terrible.
No.
Needless to say, I was very confused about this trailer, and I am not hopeful.
No. It looks like they definitely didn't get the message, and will continue to just entirely fuck up this series with every opportunity. I'm almost like there's a part of me that, like, there's a sort of perverse part of me that's like attracted to it in some ways, just to see like what's Burnham gonna do? Like, what are they gonna do with Burnham? I'm curious to see like what her decision making is gonna fucking look like in season 2. Just sort of like the car accident appeal of that.
I'm trying to think what would a good trailer, what would a redeeming trailer look like? And I have an idea in my mind.
Okay.
Starfield.
Okay.
Slowly pan towards a planet, and you just hear captain's log, stardate, whatever. Insert some sort of exposition. I'm gonna send an away team down to the planet. Entry complete. Signing off, Captain Pike. And then by the time you hear all that, you just see the Discovery slowly roll into screen. Nothing's exciting.
Yeah.
What this would be saying to me is, guys, in the off season, we have watched a Star Trek TV show. We understand that most of Star Trek is episodic.
Yeah.
And we understand that we can tell a bigger story inside an episodic structure.
Yes.
We would argue that we did that last season, but some people on the internet informed us that we are in fact retarded.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, that would be fantastic. I mean, I would appreciate seeing maybe Burnham's spaced fucking frozen body float across the screen, so that we don't have to fucking deal with it anymore. And then, just throw that one in there. Yeah, I don't know, man. It looks like
she
shit.
dies. She dies unceremoniously to a tar monster.
Oh, that would be fucking amazing. Oh so God, that would be amazing. Oh man, that poor character.
Maybe she is the tar monster.
God,
because she is full of hate and emotions.
Yeah, I had a conversation that I had with you, almost identical with this dude at work, and he was like, because we were talking about it, like, is it the actress or is it the writing? And he was like, I watch Walking Dead. I like her in The Walking Dead, but I fucking hate her. She's out of her goddamn mind on this show, and I think it's just the writing. So I don't know. I don't remember that actress's name, but I just feel like we should throw her a bone sometimes because she plays the worst fucking character. She plays the worst goddamn character that has ever been written, probably. I'm trying to think of like a fictional character that I hate more than Michael Burnham, and I don't know if I can do it. I don't think I can do it. You could pull up like Joffrey Lannister from the fucking Game of Thrones, but it's like he's supposed to be the worst. He's supposed to be the worst.
Imagine if the writers of Game of Thrones were trying to write Joffrey exactly as he is, and then also mixing in plenty of hints that you're supposed to like, and appreciate this guy's actions.
I'm supposed to like understand where he's coming from and sympathize with it. No, like it's the right thing to do. Yeah, this mutiny, this was really heroic. Oh man, when she rescued the fucking Emperor, the Mirror Universe, that was a really heroic move on Michael Burnham's part. It wasn't completely selfish. It wasn't driven by totally fucking selfish motivation to like redeem herself and redeem what she did in the past. It wasn't that at all. It wasn't just completely self-centered in nature. But
the philosophical problem of Starfleet letting an Imperial warlord plant a bomb, and blow up a planet.
Yep,
that's pretty sketchy.
Yeah.
However, if we give that bomb to somebody,
a religious fanatic,
and erase any semblance of representative government,
it's fine. And
almost assure a genocide.
You tell me how we violated the Prime Directive.
Step 1.
Oh, God damn it. If we don't move on from this, we're going to talk about this for the entire rest of the episode. But
no, because it's just going to keep.
So the trailer for Star Trek Discovery Season 2, absolute shit show. Are we doing stars for that? 1, but it's a shit show.
Gonna continue to give it 0.
Yeah.
The Orville, I think the Orville looks fine. I think it looks fun.
I guess.
I said I was gonna come back to the thing that I liked about it.
Oh yeah, okay.
And this is a thing that another show that we were recently talking about didn't understand. That was earlier in this episode. We're into First Contact. We're into expanding, sort of cultural understanding and all that stuff. That at least is what Star Trek is largely about.
Yes.
And it was nice to see them go there because we sure ain't getting it from any other TV show.
Fuck no, we're not. No.
So I don't know. We'll see if it's full of dick jokes again. I don't actually mind a lot of the humor in the Orville because I think a lot of it is pretty funny. And honestly, there's so many ridiculous things that happen in Star Trek that you have to imagine that as soon as the turbo lift doors close, the people on the bridge are like, this is some bullshit, right?
Yeah. Yeah. God damn it, dude. So like, here's my issue with it. Like, if I could see the Orville as little more than a love letter to Star Trek, that would be one thing. Like, that's the attitude that I would like to have toward the show. And that's the attitude that basically Galaxy Quest has toward the whole franchise. And that's why Galaxy Quest is such a great movie. Because that's essentially all it is. But when the Orville asks me to take it seriously and it fails to fucking deliver, it just pisses me off all the more. And it pisses me off because, like, I get it. I get that the Orville is like the perfect fucking thing to troll Star Trek Discovery. I fucking get that. But that doesn't make it a good show. And like the more simplistic approaches, like in the fucking episode, the social media episode, the fucking Twitter is bad episode. I don't remember what it was called, but like that was fine. That was fine. There was some stuff that was like pretty good there. I feel like they missed a few opportunities in that episode, but there's no issue there really. But like the episode, particularly the episode about the sex change thing, I thought it was really terribly handled. It was really badly handled.
It was the Hillary Clinton episode for you, huh?
It was a little bit, yeah. But even that episode of Continues at least had like one of the greatest lines I've ever heard. One of the greatest fucking criticisms of the Prime Directive I've ever fucking heard in my life. But like this episode was just,
which one was that?
When he's like, when fucking Q is like, you can.
That's not the Hillary Clinton episode.
Oh no, that's not. You're right. That's the black and white episode. Never mind. You're right about that.
And John Delancey
John Delancey's just, god damn it, just a fucking torpedo, like a torpedo. That's not even the right it's like a fucking nuclear missile, like a tactical nuke against the fucking Prime Directive. Just an amazing line. But I just like, god damn it, if the Orville is gonna like explore these kind of themes seriously, I'm on board for that. That's awesome. But when it tries to do that and it fails, and you just get the fallback that, well, this is a comedy, it's a love letter to Star Trek and whatever, and even Star Trek has bad episodes. I don't give a shit. That feels like a fucking cop out to me, and that's why I don't care. If they invest
bad episodes all the time,
if they invest a little bit more in their characters, that's the best way to, I think, kind of right the ship a little bit. And maybe not left turn into like the easy 20th century pop culture joke as much as they fucking do. That would actually make for a better show. But I don't know, man. I don't feel like and granted, we've only had one season. I get it. Like, it's only the first season.
And it's really a short season.
It is. But like, until that show kind of figures out what the fuck it wants to be, I think I'm gonna continue to have some issues with it. Where it's like fighting Family Guy instincts and trying to be a little bit serious also, and maybe try to explore some theme a little bit, but then, you know, penises are funny, and like, so I don't know, man. I don't care. It's like it's not funny. It's not as good as Galaxy Quest, and it's not as good as Star Trek: The Next Generation. It's this mediocre hybrid of the two, I feel like. And so to laud it for being a mediocre hybrid of two things that are much better, it's not really high praise to me. Though, yes, it coexists with Star Trek Discovery. I mean, I get it. It's a better show than Star Trek Discovery. You're never going to fucking hear me argue the opposite end of that. But
by a long shot.
Literally almost every show. Is there a worse show? If there is a worse show, I haven't seen it. But yeah. So I don't know. So I watched the trailer. I couldn't really tell what the hell was happening. It was more stuff in space and the characters I had seen before.
I think it's largely just to let you know that it exists.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's exactly what I expected from an Orville trailer.
Yeah.
So I'm just kind of happy that we're going to see more of it, and maybe they will improve in areas that will make you hate it less.
Maybe. I'll give it a shot. I mean, I want to like it. I want to enjoy it. I don't want to be a grumpy old bastard about it, but
you just can't help yourself.
No, I can't. I mean, I am old and I am a bastard, so
and grumpy too.
And yes, that too. Don't want to forget that. But
all right. Any closing thoughts on either of these two things?
I heard what's her face, the chick who plays Lita, Lala, Luli, the strong chick, the strong alien chick on Orville.
Mm-hmm.
I heard that maybe she was leaving or something. Is that true, or did I not?
There's been a lot of rumors. She is dating Seth MacFarlane, so that's
weird.
A weird thing.
She seems young, right? I mean, he's
not he's older than us, and she's younger than us.
Okay,
so you do the math.
I think Hollywood math is different from like regular people math, but yeah.
I think sadly Hollywood math is, is this person equal to or greater than 1/4 of my age, and with a minimum of 11 years old?
Yeah, I think it's mostly like, am I gonna go to jail? And
I'm not even sure that's it.
But it is a little bit like, it's a little bit of a consider. It's like, am I going to go to jail? Yes. Okay. Is anyone gonna rat on me though? That's the other part. Like,
will I be able to get to a non-extradition country?
Gotta have that go bag fucking ready. Interesting. Okay, I was just curious about that because I liked her in the episodes I saw. It seemed like they were at least trying with her more than almost any other character besides Seth MacFarlane and fucking Palicki.
I want to say that she's set to play like Dazzler in a upcoming movie, so maybe she has to take some portion of some time off. Or something.
That would be. Yeah, I'd be just fine with that. Actually, that's great.
Suddenly.
Now I'm a fan.
Yes, Orville, greatest show.
That's all it fucking takes.
So anyway, yeah, what we learned here is, Star Trek Discovery remains a very, very questionable property,
to say the least. Yeah.
Midget Radio still isn't impressed with the Orville, but we will see.
We'll see.
Tactic Angel is okay with the Orville because why not?
I like it.
Good time. We'll call that subject over.
Okay.
We haven't done a lot of multi-topic episodes recently. We haven't gotten to say subject over.
Oh, that's true. That is true. We've been like singularly focused for the most part.
I kind of like it.
I think the tail end of most episodes kind of devolves into just madness, but still. And
the front end of this.
And the front end, yeah, but.
And kind of the middle too.
A little bit of the middle, but still, I still feel singularly focused. That's, it's a fair descriptor of most of our recent episodes. Anyway, subject over.
The other thing we're talking about also is space, though.
Yeah.
Space. No Man's Sky. Next. So No Man's Sky is a game by Hello Games, the creator of the Joe Danger series of moderately like Excitebike games. You remember Excitebike?
That was a great game, dude. That was actually the first game I ever purchased with my own money on the
You are interrupting my introduction.
I know, I'm sorry.
So anyway, No Man's Sky features a functionally infinite procedurally generated universe. The game initially launched in 2016 to some pretty harsh criticism. In full disclosure, the Wednesday Night Gentlemen were never all that negative on this game, and we even talked about this game in our very first episode. Not that you could tell, because there were some audio issues.
A little bit, yeah.
And we've also talked about it during major patches several times in between. Now, No Man's Sky is back in the news with a huge overhaul patch simply called Next. Next adds a third-person mode to the game, true multiplayer, frigates, completely reshuffles the technology trees, greatly expands base building, customization of your freighter, new mission types, new planet types, planetary rings, bigger foliage, new enemy creatures on the planet, etc. Lots of stuff.
Yeah.
Midget Radio. You must be on like incognito mode because I haven't actually seen you play this, but you inform me that you have in fact played this game.
Yeah, I have. So I didn't get to play it I did play a bunch of it yesterday. I wasn't able to play it very much like when it came out because I had visiting relatives, but I did play a whole shitload of it yesterday and a little bit on the day that it actually came out. So I don't know. It's like hard to approach this subject a little bit because, you know, for me at least, No Man's Sky essentially did what it said that it was going to, at least as much as I fucking ever paid attention to it, which was, you know, this is a universe procedurally generated game and all of that shit. And, you know, like that is what it is. So it was impressive enough to me that even like worked in the first place. Aside from that, though, like I've never really quite understood what people were expecting to get out of this game. So each addition to the game has been, I think, overall an improvement. No Man's Sky next, I think, is certainly an improvement as well. It's like the crafting system, I think, has gotten a little bit more interesting. I like some of the additions, like the refinery and stuff like that. I think at least makes it like a little bit more interesting. But to me, the base game is still like it's still the same thing that we've had. I don't know that like the new gameplay mechanics, the differences in the crafting system and the addition of some of the missions, like to me, I'm not sure that they actually really improve the overall experience. So for someone who is like pissed off and really disappointed that they didn't get what they felt they were, you know, that they didn't get what they were being told they were gonna get, I don't know if this makes all that much of a difference or not. So I don't know. That's not a very like good answer, but that's kind of where I am with this game. I think it's improvements generally over what we already have, but does it significantly change the game? I mean, I don't really think so.
I think it adds variation to the game loop, right?
Okay, yeah, sure.
So I think the problem that a lot of people had was in the original No Man's Sky, you would go out, you'd be on a planet. The planet was invariably sparsely populated in a fairly random, chaotic pattern of plant life, right?
Yeah.
And the variety, particularly the scale of this plant life and the animal life that's wandering between the relatively sparse populations of foliage, not all that interesting. Certainly not the towering Brachiosaurus, whatever, that we see in the first trailer. So I think a lot of people were upset about that. And like, what did you do? So you would go around a planet, and speckled at almost an insane high frequency were little settlements.
Yeah.
And we still have those little settlements now. They are
settlement actually, itself may be kind of a a generous description of what
you have a couple of pods, camp, whatever. And you still have that. I feel like they're less common now, actually.
That is true. That is true. Yeah, they don't seem to be as frequently.
And I actually think that helps the game quite a bit, because it makes the game loop more complicated, because nowadays, if you want to find something, you almost have to build like one of the little portable scanners.
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay, tell me where something is.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Then you pick up the scanner, you go over there, you see what it is. You can augment your chances for what you find by putting in, data and trying to find a particular type of signal, which is good. You can still find things like the ruins. Now when you find the ruins, you have options to learn more about language, which is always useful.
Yeah.
I don't know if you tried this, the knowledge of the past. Tell me more about the past.
No.
So if you do that, usually what happens is it will find another set of ruins for you.
Okay.
And if you go to that set of ruins, they now have like buried ruins.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
And there are boxes that have ancient keys in them. And if you get 3 ancient keys and you go to and you unearth the treasure chest there, you can open the treasure chest.
Okay.
And that will get you some fancy thing that usually sells for a very random amount of money.
Okay.
Because I've had it at like 150,000.
Okay.
And I had one that was 11 million.
Oh, nice.
Units.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it is. Particularly since the game appears to be a little glitchy still after its release.
Yeah.
I bought a second ship and it has completely disappeared.
I got a second ship too, and I'm having a hard time figuring out how to get it into my freighter. Because it's like, man, am I like, do I need to warp down to the planet or what the fuck, man? Like, it was one of those like crashed ships, you know, that you can basically take for free. That's like, how am I gonna get both ships on here?
But now they changed the mechanic for how that works, because now you have to actually repair individual
shit. Yeah.
individual slots. And it used to be that was a monetary, like you would, it's like insert the appropriate number of quarters and this will work again. Yeah. And now it's like you actually have to find specific things. Yeah. Which, I mean, it isn't technically all that different, but it feels different. It does.
Now there's a few decisions though that like seem to have been made that I don't quite like. There's one element in particular I think that you can only find on certain planets, but it's like required to be able to, 1, repair certain things on the ship, and then 2, build any of the land vehicles as well. And it's like, well, this is a little stupid. I mean, why would you?
Is it that Fafinium?
It's like Perfidium or whatever the fuck. Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember what it is specifically.
Do you know what pisses me off about that element? That element, if you put it in the little refiner, turns into ferrite dust.
Oh, that's obnoxious.
And when it turns into, when you see that, you're like, well, this must be fucking useless, because ferrite dust is
everywhere.
Is fairly useless itself. Yeah. And so I turned a huge stack of it into ferrite dust.
Oops.
And then I was like, oh,
it doesn't turn back into
No, it turns into pure ferrite, and then pure ferrite into magnetized ferrite. Yeah. So like, and the thing is, like, I have like the blue hyperdrive, so I'm going to all the blue systems. Okay. Well, that only spawns in like yellow systems, which is thankfully the most common system and the one that you can go to with the standard hyperdrive. Yeah. But if I'm like going to all these neat and unique places, then I'm shooting myself in the foot. Yeah. Yeah. So I think like, so the game loop. So now you can do a couple of different things. And so you're landing on a planet, you're trying to find bases, you're trying to do all the normal things you used to, but you have that extra step. Yeah. In there, if you do find something like a ship, you have different mechanics that feel a little bit more like a survival game and not just a money simulator. Yes. Yeah. And that feels like an improvement. Yeah. You have excavating ruins. That's a little bit different part of the loop. Now you have your whole fleet and you can get the frigates, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Managing the frigates, not exactly a super complicated concept at this point, but it's actually really fun.
Yeah, it is.
Have you ever had to repair one?
Oh, no, I have not. Not yet, anyway.
So the frigates have the landing pads on them, right?
Yeah.
So you land on them, and as you're landing, if it's damaged, the captain will hail you and be like, "Hey, boss, the ship's fucked up."
Okay.
And you're like, "Great, tell me more." and it'll like, he'll highlight the systems that are broken in it. And what you do is you run around on all the platforms and you go to the different terminals, because you saw the terminals when you were running around, but you're like, it doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
Wrong. When the ship's broken, it does something.
Well, that's
you have
cool.
you have to go there and you have to do like, I need some nanotubes, and you put the nanotubes in and then it works.
That's cool.
And then and it comes with a little animation. So like one time it was like this robo arm was broken and I was like, boop, beep, boop, boop. And then like you saw the robo arm come over and then this other thing grasp onto it and there was some turning and colors changed. And I mean, I'm saying all these things and it sounds completely ridiculous and simplistic, but it's you have a visual reward for having done it. And I have like, at this point, I have like 4 of these frigates. And,
okay.
2 of them are the Explorer class with the big ring on the front of them.
Yeah.
And those are really cool because you get to go inside and there's a lot of room inside.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And so like one of my Explorers, actually, I was playing the game and then I get an emergency hail from one of them. And it's like, boss, we have fucked up bad.
Huh.
I ran into an asteroid.
Oh.
True story. Super sorry. I'm not sure if we can make it back. And you're like, yes, come back now so I can fix your ship, or continue on as a damaged fucking cruiser. Like, nope, we're going to have you come back. So it warped back, and the rest of the ships in the fleet continued the mission.
That's cool.
And then you get the debriefing at the end.
Yeah.
Which is neat. So this is adding more to the game loop.
Yeah.
You also have like the quests. I mean, you can make of them what you will. I'm not 100% sure what the purpose of leveling up like Trade Federation, and all that sort of stuff, that faction, but I'm sure there's some purpose to it.
Yeah.
Well, I want to say that I'm sure there's some purpose to it. I'm actually astounded by what a small change to the space station can make such a big difference in terms of like my perception of space stations.
Yeah. It's a much bigger thing now, it seems like, which is kind of nice.
Have you been in a system that doesn't have a space station?
No, I haven't, actually.
I've been in a couple of them.
Okay.
It is a weird feeling.
That's interesting.
Because it's like, this is a system without a safety net.
Yeah. Huh.
Have you been in a system with a derelict space station?
No, that's cool. I like that.
It is also extraordinarily creepy.
Yeah. That's kind of cool.
Like you can tell from the outside, it's all shot to shit.
Oh, cool.
And then when you get inside, like all the lights are red. And like it starts playing music that makes you think maybe I shouldn't be here.
Okay. That's cool.
And then they expanded even the little things, like when you would go down to the planet and there'd be the facility that was overrun with like gunk and
yeah.
Have you messed around with the eggs?
Oh, the fucking oh god, the like weird monster things that pop up. Yes, yeah.
The adorable yet terrifying
Yeah.
aliens.
They're a bunch of dicks. Yeah. God, they are straight up like Ridley Scott, fucking James Cameron. Aliens.
Yeah, they're somewhere between like an H.R. Giger sort of xenomorph.
Yeah.
And then I want to say like a Funko Pops doll.
Yeah, I could see that.
Or a Zergling and a Funko Pops doll. And it's adorable, but it's murdering me.
Oh yeah,
a lot.
they're dicks. Yeah, they're dicks. Yeah.
Like that's a great addition because it gives you a little extra something to work around. I mean, like, they've added a lot of things, and at this point, like, my major frustrations with like the game in its current state is when there's only one iteration of an idea.
Yeah, okay.
So like, you go to a planet and like you look at this tree, it looks weird. You're like, I'm not sure if it'll attack me. I wish that played out more often.
Okay, I could see
because
that.
Pretty much all of the aggressive carnivorous plants all look the same.
Yes, that is true. They do. They are readily identifiable.
And all of the things that spew poison at you now in caves, which is an addition also, which is also kind of nice.
Yeah.
They all look the same.
Yeah.
So like, I would love to see like some of these things. We have a lot of like tentacle bushes that are in the game.
Yeah.
And maybe sometimes tentacle bushes are assholes.
Yeah,
like maybe they
nice.
should be assholes.
Mostly they just produce carbon, but yeah, I mean.
So I mean, like, that's the stuff that, and it's not bad. It's just I know that it could be a lot better.
Yeah.
If I landed on a planet and the tree that looks ever so slightly different than the last tree is actually a treant, and it's fucking mad because you didn't recycle or something.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that's a legit criticism, and maybe it speaks to maybe what the larger criticism is of No Man's Sky, which is that like for an almost infinite universe, there's still a lot of same. Like the planets are still, it just feels the same in a lot of places. With the carnivorous plants and the way the planets were, there's a toxic planet. All right, so this is gonna be the same as all the other toxic planets. This is a radiation planet. There's still like a lot of that. And I don't know really how you bring a whole bunch of variety to that. I mean, to me, like, the chief weakness of No Man's Sky, and this is something they never, I at least for me, that I don't think they never really sold it on this, but like, the chief weakness is that every planet is basically a dead planet. There are no like interesting civilizations or anything like that out there. I kind of like some of the I like the introduction of like some of the traveler narrative. I like the kind of weird, like almost like spirituality or like mysticism that's behind some of that stuff. I like that like story element. But there's nothing interesting about the Gek or the Korvax or the fucking Viking or anything like that. And that's still all there really is in this entire fucking universe. So, I mean, so to me, like, those are the things that make the game kind of like not very interesting to me. But I don't fault the game for that. I don't think it ever even pretended to be like, this is going to be a really deep cultural dive, so.
And I think to ask a lot in terms of sophistication there is asking more than it's reasonable that the game design could produce.
I would agree with that. Yeah, to me it's sufficient and impressive enough to me that the procedural aspect of the game appears to work as well as it does. I mean, that to me is still like, fuck, that's kind of amazing.
Don't you think it works a lot better now, though?
I mean, I guess so. I get, maybe in just the small amount of time that I've spent, which has basically been 2 days. I think I only went to like 2 or 3 different systems. And there, I haven't really experienced like a whole ton of variety. Mostly I just keep running into fucking toxic planets, it seems like, but
well, kind of one of the things that I feel like that Next did a really good job at kind of improving the visuals is you have a lot more foliage density.
Yes, that is true. Yeah, that is true.
So now you have kind of legit forests.
Yeah.
And the scaling, like, I understand, like, you show me a model of a tree that has some sliders so it can look several different ways, but essentially I can kind of tell that it's the same idea as a tree. Now, I was on a planet that had a bunch of like velociraptors on it.
Okay.
And no, those velociraptors were about 8 inches tall.
Okay. That's interesting.
And I was on a planet that had like a jello mold with eyes all over it.
Oh, that's cool.
And it was larger than my ship.
That's awesome. Wow, that is fucking cool. I have not seen anything like that yet.
And so, I mean, it's not as tall as my ship. I have like an exotic type ship now, so it has that giant fin on the top of it.
Okay.
Which is really kind of convenient in only so far as you can see it over ridge lines.
Oh, that's
easily.
nice. Yeah.
One thing I didn't mention is they increased the draw distance quite a bit.
So yeah, I guess so. I'm still finding stuff like I gotta get really fucking close to the ground for shit to actually render when I'm in my ship. Like closer than I felt like I had to get before.
I think some of that's probably based on speed, like how fast you're going.
Maybe, yeah.
But like, if you're down on the planet, so you're moving at like human-like speed. If you look around, you can see a lot farther than you ever used to be able to.
That is true. Have you run into any glitches where like you're running up on a deposit and you see like a bunch of scattered, storage bins and shit like that around, and you look away from it and then you turn back to it and it's gone? Because I have had that happen at least once or twice.
I don't know that has ever happened to me. I would say some of that's probably your incredibly poor lack of
that is possible. I'm not going to rule that out.
Sense.
Not going to rule that out, but
I mean, that I have a pretty solid sense of direction.
Yeah.
Particularly compared to your own abilities.
Well, that's true of most people, but yeah.
I find myself getting turned around in this game a lot.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure to what degree it is that maybe the system says, yeah, there's a box in front of you. And then I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Oh, look, there's a thing over there. And I look over there because it's like, squirrel.
Yeah.
And I look back and it's like, where'd the box go?
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that has happened a lot because usually I'm still moving forward.
Okay. Yeah.
And if I turn to the right and I do a little juke this way and that way, and all of a sudden I'm not 100% sure where that box was to begin with.
Yeah.
Do you enjoy the third person ability?
I don't really use it at all. I don't know if you do, and it seems like it seems like a lot of people have enjoyed it, but I don't actually use it.
I'm surprised by that.
Yeah. I don't know why. I just don't. I think it's because, like, if I'm shooting at something, I kind of prefer the first person.
I do a lot of running away.
Yeah.
I actually do find that I do know what you mean, because most of the time when you're playing an over the shoulder and when you start talking about close range, like the accuracy
Yes. Yeah.
I have not had that problem in this game.
Okay.
Because I find, if I'm dead on a sentinel and it's 2 feet away from me, even though it kind of looks like a weird shot because I'm shooting over my right shoulder.
Yeah.
If I pull that trigger, I still hit it.
Yeah.
So I've been playing particularly on the ground, mostly in third person.
Okay.
I like watching my little man run around.
Yeah.
I think the character design that they made for the suits is actually pretty endearing.
Did you play with that very much? Because I noticed you could edit. It seemed like a pretty good chunk of that, but I didn't really fuck with it because I wanted to just play the game. But
yeah. So there's 10 different helmets or more for each race.
Okay.
There's 5 races, and then you've got 4 different types of suit, 4 types of gloves, 4 maybe 3 types of armor that goes over the suit.
Oh, okay. That's
maybe
cool.
4. I think usually it's 4 though. You got 4 pants and 4 boots. So the combinations there are pretty good. I think there's something like 16, 18, 24 colors. You can do different patterns. Usually there's at least 3 or 4 patterns per armor piece.
Okay.
And you can make every inch of you a different color if you wanted to and be a rainbow warrior.
That's cool.
I want to say that there's a fair deal of customization. It's not over the top. It's not all that interesting. And it's not revolutionary in the sense that 18 quintillion planets could be said to be revolutionary.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
I have seen that a lot of people have been doing different themes. So there's a lot of stormtroopers out there.
Okay. That's cool.
So they pick the anomaly with the headpiece that looks kind of a little bit like the scout trooper.
Okay.
And then they make everything black and white. It actually looks pretty good.
That's cool.
I've seen a couple of decent rebel pilots.
Okay.
I saw somebody do some fucking stupid Doctor Who nonsense.
Of course. Fucking
It
Doctor
was
Who
stupid.
people.
It was terrible.
Whatever they can ruin is that's what they try to do.
You know what's a little bit funny? If you add Doctor Who to STD, it gets better.
Yeah.
So I think I actually wanted to make a Corvax, but I didn't want to have red in my theme, and some of the parts you can't really change the colors of, so I went back to the anomaly, and I like my guy. He kind of looks like a space future diver man.
Okay, that's cool.
And I like that. I think the new kind of economy of units and then also nano clusters is actually working out pretty okay.
It's not bad. Yeah.
It took me actually a good while to figure out that you buy a piece of technology and then slot it into.
Yeah.
Because it used to be that you would just have recipes for everything.
Yeah.
And that was kind of lame because I got to the point where I knew every recipe in the game pretty early.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, right now I know no recipes.
Yep.
So
same here. That's kind of annoying, but yeah.
It is, but at the same time, it kind of gives the game a new spin.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to work through the traveler stuff. So,
yeah.
Sadly, I have to get back to the point where I can even interact with that because I don't think I can craft enough things to make the things that need to happen.
Yeah.
But still flying around. I mean, I've seen some pretty interesting stuff. I love the ship design. I actually think the space battles work out a little bit better now.
Yeah. They seem a little frequent to me, but yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. And that's mostly because when I'm playing No Man's Sky, I mostly want to be left alone.
Yeah. Fuck off. Yeah. That was the only
multiplayer.
So literally, I mean, of course, I start the game for the first fucking time, and within 3 minutes, some anus joins my game. Some fuckface, and he's like waving at me, and I'm like,
you saw him?
Yeah, he was in the space station, waved at me. I gave him the thumbs up because the fucking middle finger isn't an option. And yeah, we ended up on the same goddamn planet. Trying to visit some guy, some quest, I think, some shit I tried to do. This fucker was out there too. And then he left.
You know, you can just turn that off.
Can you? I should have done
You can.
that. Then he
Also,
left. I
there's
haven't had it since then. It was just, of course, it was my first fucking experience with No Man's Sky multiplayer implemented for the first, like the one thing that I don't give a shit about.
So there's an interesting thing because I was testing it out a little bit with Enigma.
Okay.
I got on. I had him come into my game. Now I was playing mostly on a PlayStation Pro, and for better or worse, games tend to be less tested on the PlayStation Pro. And let's just say the game hard failing with some frequency is a known issue.
Oh, yikes.
Now this isn't like Conan Exiles levels of doesn't work, because that one is it takes 20 minutes to log into the game. Yeah. It doesn't take very long to log into No Man's Sky.
That's true.
So I mean it would crash, and mostly the issue is that if I warp into a planet, fly immediately as fast as I can down to the planet, get out and start scanning something, it was going to crash.
God damn, really? Okay.
But it's like if I fly down to the planet and land and look at my dog for a second and then get out, fine.
Okay. Interesting.
So it's mostly, I think, that like you could overload it and too much stuff would happen and it would, throw some exception and it would just crash.
Yeah, that's so crazy. I figured that it would be, because I've noticed that just on my PS4, like I get some stuttering here and there. But so yeah, I would just assume that the PS4 would, I guess it doesn't, or the Pro would handle that better. I guess not. I haven't had any crashes, so.
I have played it also on my regular PS4. It does look a little bit prettier on the Pro, and when we upload this, there'll be both the
cool.
PS4 and PS4 Pro gameplay, just so you can kind of see the difference.
Cool.
Overall, though, I would say they fixed it mostly in patch 1.51, which came out about 3 or 4 days after the game came out.
Okay.
And it was only on certain planets that it would happen.
Huh.
So it was mostly like if you find yourself on a planet and it crashed a couple times, just there are other planets. This is No Man's Sky.
That is true.
Just go to a different planet.
I have plenty of those, yeah.
So actually, oh my gosh, I am all over the place with this review, and this is exactly how I play No Man's Sky.
Yeah, I mean,
it's like,
yeah,
I have something like 140 hours in this game. And I haven't gotten to the center of the universe because squirrel.
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, what happens is, I like the new crafting system. Like,
yeah,
I'm going to make jet fuel. I have to make specifically jet fuel. And actually, they finally implemented in the game something that allows you to get more takeoffs per refuel.
Yeah, some efficiency or some shit. I forget what it's called, but yeah.
It exists. I had it on my secondary ship that has vanished.
That sucks.
Well, it wasn't worth very much, so it wasn't exactly like a big deal.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I like how that works. In playing the multiplayer, because I'm back on that because Squirrel.
Yeah.
I found an interesting thing because Enigma and I were playing together.
Okay.
And after I crashed a few times, I would get back in. And it said to him that I was joining his game. And it said to me that he was joining my game.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And I think the way that it actually works is anyone can kick anyone.
Huh.
Because you can just go to the network settings, and when I've seen people join me, boom, you're gone.
Yeah. Fuck off. That's awesome.
But I'm fairly sure all that it's doing is saying these two players are not going to play together.
Yeah. Interesting.
So, like, it probably just says Tactic Angel disconnected from your game. And we could be running around exactly the same spot, you know, talking to the exact same Gek asshole, and we wouldn't be any the wiser.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
And I think that is actually the absolute perfect implementation of multiplayer in this. Because if I want you or Enigma or whomever to join my game and we can run around and do things, like, great. If that's what you want from No Man's Sky, great.
Yeah.
If I never want to be bothered with anybody, I can just straight up turn off multiplayer.
Yeah. So that's like, it is, and I think certainly given the audience reaction to the game, it is the perfect implementation of multiplayer. I kind of loved the idea at the beginning, though, when it was just like, this is the fucking universe. And more than likely, you're never going to fucking run into anybody because it's so huge. But that's what makes it kind of epic if you actually do come across somebody, it's like, holy fuck.
I think there are a couple of things there, though, because like the chances that you would have ever run into another player are incredibly low, particularly if you have no way of perceiving the other person other than as a glowing orb.
Yeah.
So, like, there's nothing on the map that says this is where he's at. Now, if Enigma joins me or if you join me, it'll tell me where you're at.
Yeah.
And for the most part, when people are joining your game, it just means they're in the same sector.
Yeah.
Right? They're not in the same system.
Yeah.
They may be, 50 light years away from you. But they're still in your game.
Yeah.
So if you want to play that and you want to potentially meet somebody, like that's great. I think the actual seeing somebody on the same planet as you or the same space station as you is pretty unlikely as it is. And even if you want like the complete solitary experience, you can still have that.
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
And if somebody's griefing you and you don't want to play their fucking game, you can just kick them.
Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, if we go back to like games that are coming out, let's take Skull and Bones, right?
Okay.
So that was a game that I was like interested in playing, but then they came out and said, this is always online and there's nothing you can do about being griefed by another player other than running away. Well, that sucks.
Yeah.
And really that encourages people to be just assholes to each other at all times because you're not sure if the other person's going to be an asshole to you before you can be an asshole to them. So you better be an asshole as quickly as you can.
Yeah, pretty much.
Now,
Tactic Angel hates multiplayer. He's finally seen the light. You've seen the light. Just accept it. And
if you're playing in this open world sort of thing where it's like, yes, that person might kill me, but if I kill him, and this actually goes into kind of a psychological concept. If I kill him, he can just boot me from his game, and there's no satisfaction. I kill you once.
Yeah.
You get booted. Guess what? You've just been ostracized from from a community, essentially. I mean, it was a community of two.
Yeah.
But you had the opportunity to play a game with another person. You chose not to do the thing that would allow you to continue to play the game with another person. And that's your punishment. And actually, rather than creating like the incentive that, well, if I see somebody in the dark zone or if I see somebody's pirate ship, I have to shoot them as soon as possible because they are definitely going to shoot me once they realize that they need to shoot me as soon as possible because neither one of us can read each other's minds.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, like in that case, you have to shoot. In this case, it's like there's a risk reward. There's actually a reason not to shoot.
Yeah.
Because it's like most of the people are probably not predisposed to want to grief one another, particularly if they're playing such a chill game like No Man's Sky.
Yeah, no shit, dude. Yeah.
And then if everybody who's playing No Man's Sky has the ability to basically say, you're a fucking dick, I'm not playing with you.
Yeah.
Then boom. Like I get no gratification from killing you one time.
Yeah. I
get gratification when I play GTA and I murder your face like several times in a row.
Again and again and again.
Mostly Momise or Blue Sky Giant, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like you see that thing and Momise kills you and it says you've killed Momise 43 times and she's killed you twice.
Let's go for like, 45s.
Well, I gotta stay on for another hour because I was going for 100 to 1.
Yeah.
Like that's a glorious experience in its own right. You can grief people to death in that game.
Yeah.
But that's not No Man's Sky. It shouldn't be No Man's Sky.
God,
and
no.
It appears that they have actually struck a balance that I have never seen another game try to strike.
Yeah.
Because I had somebody join my game and it sounded like some fucking toddler.
Yeah.
And I was just like, nope. Because I could hear them and they're like, oh, it's the planet.
Oh, God, you could hear them. Oh, my God.
Oh, there's a jelly monster. Oh, it's a jelly monster. It's
oh, God.
Nope.
Die.
So like that was all fascinating, and I think I got to give him props for doing that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that is awesome. And that it's pretty seamless too. That's pretty great.
Yeah, I don't understand the. I guess you can only play with a party of 4 right now.
Oh, really? Oh,
maybe.
I didn't know there was a limit on it.
I think they're trying to get it up to 16. The chances that you get 16 people in the same place in this game seem...
Yeah.
Well, let's put it somewhere between remote and extraordinarily intentional.
Yeah.
So, like, for the people who are out there, like, there's a big No Man's Sky community that's, like, super into community stuff. And, like, look at this stuff over here, man. This is awesome. Come to my planet. I've built a base.
It's fucking weird.
Well, I mean, like, it's kind of beautiful because it is like a positive thing. And so much of the internet is just the worst.
It is. Yeah, I mean, good for them. I'm happy they exist. I just think it's weird, but good for them. It's fucking awesome.
Have you tried base building?
Just a little bit, and that experience has been a little irritating to me so far.
Did you do it in creative or did you do it for real?
Oh, fuck me. I don't know, man. I used a foundation and I built some circular buildings. That's what I did.
So was it in the normal game or did you start a new game in creative mode?
Oh, fuck. I did not start a new game. So I just continued where I left off. And I know, like, you have to build a base computer or whatever the fuck. And then you can start building shit.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, it was okay, but it was still like, it was a little annoying. Mostly because I wanted to build these stairs to the ground, and it wouldn't let me put the fucking stairs on the ground. I was really angry.
Yeah, that's weird.
I want these fucking stairs to lead up to my front door. I want my front door to be in the air. I was like, no, can't put these stairs there. That's bullshit.
At this point, there are essentially 3 disparate systems for how to build a base.
Okay, that's confusing.
It is. There's big squares.
Okay.
Which you build each wall independently, and you build foundations independently. Okay. This is kind of like Conan, except that it's not like the squares aren't as small, and the ceiling height is greater than 6'1".
Okay, that's nice.
You can build those. You can also build what they call cuboid structures, which are cubes.
Okay.
And some of them have rounded edges and whatever. Fine. Cuboid structures are self-enclosed, so when you build a cube, it has an inside and an outside.
Okay.
And if you have several insides that are facing one another, they create a larger inside.
Okay.
And then you can build the modular units, which are the big circular buildings.
Yeah, okay.
Or the big square buildings. And in theory, you can connect all of these. I actually did. I spent a couple of hours experimenting. And if you are considering building a base, I highly suggest actually going into the creative mode and just seeing how it works first.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Before you just start burning resources.
Yeah.
Because it took me a while to figure out how it worked. Now, a couple of things that I really love. You can build into the earth. If you build into the earth around it is automatically excavated.
Okay, I was not so sure about that. I spent a long time trying to find a spot that was not in the earth, because that is not how Conan works. That's nice.
I mean, it's super interesting because I've seen people who built literally like a landing pad that goes into a door, into a mountain, and that's all you can see.
Huh.
So they have their entire complex. It's just a bunker in some fucking planet somewhere.
That's cool.
That's really
cool. Yeah. Okay.
Now, I built a nonsense base in creative. I started trying to figure out how do you solve the problem of elevation, because ladders suck.
Yeah.
I figured out that you could make essentially a concentric staircase.
Okay.
That works pretty well. I'm not sure it's the perfect solution, but you know me, I try to build efficient bases or efficient castles.
Yes.
and I eventually came up with some solutions. Whatever. It'll also be in the video just for fucking shits and giggles.
Okay.
But you can make all of these things connect with one another, but you basically have to do it with hallways.
Yeah.
And then they kind of set apart.
Yeah.
I was really surprised at the number of pieces that I could put out, because I must have built a base with like 300 pieces.
Oh, wow.
And it used to be that it would really start to, chunk along if you had too many pieces, and you can feel it. You can actually feel it slow down a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's not really bad. Like you might be pulling 25 frames per second where I'm not really sure. It just felt a little heavy and a little sluggish when you could see all of this glass that you could see into the greenhouse area.
That's cool.
Now, granted, you don't need to be able to see into the greenhouse area. It's just thematically appropriate.
Yeah.
I had built a whole bunch of landing pads. If you build several landing pads, ships will actually land.
Okay.
And then take off.
That's cool.
I was trying to figure out how the different foundations worked. I guess what you want to do if you want to use like a pier foundation is to actually build something that's sort of floating in space, because unlike Conan, there is no physics to how this works. And then you take the foundation and you attach it to the bottom, and it'll create like these big pillars.
Yeah, I noticed that too with the circle. Yeah, I just started building the pods in the middle of the fucking air and then attaching a foundation under them. Yeah.
Kind of looks neat.
Yeah.
Well, I think what you could do is you could actually cheat and build out over the water, and you could have like a base that's kind of like elevated above the water. Yeah. And that would look kind of neat.
That's
too.
That's cool. That'd be kind of cool.
I haven't really gotten too much into it, but I just wanted to see how it worked, because they did. One of the patch notes was that they added like 1,000 pieces of things you could build.
Fucking shit. Okay. That's cool.
Now, I have no idea why you're building wooden space things.
Yeah, I didn't. I noticed that as an option. Was like, that seems weird, but I didn't try any of it. But sure, I'll have a fucking log cabin. Planet, why not?
Space log cabin, yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I do like it. It seems like the more significant things that were updated generally have to do with the crafting, which I would say is an improvement overall. I haven't really done a whole lot of the missions. I did like 1 or 2, and I mean, I would call that serviceable. You know, they're entertaining enough, I guess.
Works.
Yeah. Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, overall, I still like the game. I never disliked the game. So, and I would say this is an improvement. But it's hard to answer the question as like, is No Man's Sky like now a good game? You know, I don't know how to fucking answer that, because I still don't quite understand exactly what people were expecting in the first place.
I think that No Man's Sky has reached a point where it is legitimately everything you should have expected, like the highest level of expectations upon launch.
I think that's
because
fair.
Because you've got, you know, your dynamic planets. They look really nice now. There's actually a lot of extra foliage. There's a lot of grass. There's more stuff to do on the planet. I wish one of the things that kind of I wish they would do more with is the crashed freighters. That's another one of those.
Those were cool.
There's only one thing to do with them, though.
Yeah.
And if there were more, I would particularly love to have to go in. And let's say I go in and maybe there's some robotic menace that's inside there, and they're like evil sentinels.
Yeah.
Or maybe I go in there and, oh no, there's xenomorph eggs everywhere.
Yeah.
And like, I have to like work on each one of these doors to try to get the doors open, and maybe there'll be treasure inside.
Yeah.
Maybe there'll be technology that I can scavenge. Maybe there'll be a ship and it's still in the cargo hold.
That would be really cool. Yeah.
Like, there's all sorts of like really great things you could do with that, but you'd have to be able to create and this seems really small considering they've done 18 quintillion planets, but like a procedural generated dungeon inside of one of these ships.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much to do with that, but right now it's just kind of like
in there.
right now it's kind of just like a dig 'em up game, which is
it's not bad.
Serviceable.
Yeah, it's not bad. Yeah, I liked that at first, that there was actually that you had to like dig through stuff. I do like that new terrain manipulator mining thing. That's actually kind of nice because it doesn't overheat. But
yeah, I think it actually does make sense the way they implemented it.
Yeah.
And then there's no way that somebody should have expected more than what No Man's Sky is now. That's kind of where I am too. I don't understand that. So I do hope that they keep adding more, and they said they'll be doing, and I don't believe this, but if it's even anywhere close to true, it'll be good.
Yeah.
Weekly updates.
Oh fuck. Okay.
So I don't know what that means for us.
Yeah.
But they'll be doing kind of community goals and whatnot. I'll be interested to see what exactly that plays out to be. I haven't gone to the Atlas web page or whatever it is.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. I mean, I'm excited to see what they do with it. You know, I mean, they've only been moving in the right direction, I'd say, since release. So,
and actually, I understand what a lot of people will say is this is praising somebody for having screwed up. Yeah. And it is in a way. But how many game developers screw up a game? They say on Twitter, I'm sorry. And then they make a sequel. So they'll make, Tide Pods 2.
Yeah.
The Tide Podding.
Yeah.
And they'll be like $60 more and you can see all the things that we fixed.
Yeah.
You really do have to give it to them for continuing to develop this game for 2 years after its launch, continuing to add content without asking anyone for any more money.
Yeah, that's true. That is really cool. And it's still like, there's still not another game like it. I mean, I can't think of anything. It's still a very unique experience. So yeah, I don't know, man.
A big fan.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan. I'm really happy with this update. I've been playing my balls off on it. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, I'm a fan too. I still like it. And this update has definitely been an improvement. So
I am looking forward to even more from No Man's Sky, because I mean, if you start to get out of that, that there'll be several configurations for ruins, that there'll be several types of crashed freighter, that there'll be several types of, and it doesn't have to be tons. It could be like 3 types of crashed freighter.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
And, even if it's 4 or 5 types of angry, aggressive foliage, all of that is a step in the right direction. Yes. It makes it more interesting because it's interrupting that game loop and it's making that game loop bigger, more complicated, because it's like, okay, I'm on a toxic planet. Now, a toxic planet, there should be more aggressive life on it.
Yeah.
More aggressive foliage anyway.
Yeah.
And then you go to a frozen planet, there should be giant angry mastodons that want to murder your face.
Or frost giants. I mean, that would be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All sorts of good stuff. And they could really, I mean, there's tons that they can do with this. And I do hope that Hello Games continue forward. I know that some people will disagree with this, but if they want to charge me more money in the future, I am not completely opposed to that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, when you hit the 140-hour mark, it's like, yeah. I've gotten my money out of this.
Absolutely. You got your money's worth at that point, yeah.
I want more. I want to make sure they can continue to make more. Some people will say that Sean Murray lied and he's a money-grubbing asshole.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that that's really true.
I think some people, there's nothing that dude can do. There's nothing he's ever going to be able to do. It's just a fucking pariah, but yeah.
I think there's a lot. I'm looking forward to more No Man's Sky. Hopefully moving into the next generation too, and making even more gorgeous and intricate galaxies.
Yeah, I would love that. I would like maybe planetary systems that made sense, that would be cool. Planets kind of stacked on top of one another. I don't think they orbit anything, and it's weird. I don't know if that'll ever happen, but
I don't think that it will.
It probably won't, but
and if you look back at the old interviews, they did talk about why it is that way.
Oh, yeah?
And essentially, their art director beat out Sean Murray in an argument.
Okay.
And essentially his point, the nail in the coffin was, show me a science fiction or fantasy painting.
Yeah.
That doesn't have a crescent moon or planet hanging in the background.
Sure. That's a fair point. That is a fair point.
and since this is a very, like, stylistically, there's a lot of retro stuff happening in this game. Yeah. And he was like, I could not find that picture. So that is why No Man's Sky is the way that it is.
That's fair.
But, like, and if you look at it, is Elite Dangerous a better game because you can't see anything?
Yeah. It's points of light. That's cool. And a lot of black.
Every once in a while, you warp into a pulsar.
Yeah, pulsar. That looks cool.
Oh, it killed me.
Oops. Shit.
Fantastic.
Cool for a minute. Yeah.
There was literally nothing I could do.
Yeah.
No Man's Sky. Next. Any closing thoughts, Midget Radio?
No, I recommend it. If you don't have No Man's Sky now, I mean, pick it up. It's totally worth it. Fuck, it's like, what is it now? Like $20-$30 anyway?
If you buy it secondhand in a secondhand store, you could probably get it for that. I think right now it is on sale on both Steam and the PlayStation Network for 50% off. They have been keeping the price at $50 or $60 the whole time.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, $20-$30 for this game is more value for your money than most people can expect from an EA game.
Yeah. I mean, assuming you're good with, like, just kind of wandering around and exploring. I mean, assuming you're into what No Man's Sky is all about, then yeah.
It is still very chill.
Yeah.
And I like that. It actually is a little bit more dangerous now.
Yeah.
And a little bit more of a legitimate survival game.
Yeah.
But it is still very much not an aggressively difficult game.
No. Yeah, I dig it. All right.
Well, then that has been episode number 61 of the Wednesday Night Gentlemen Multimedia Empire official podcast. Please get some... please give us a like if you've enjoyed this video. Subscribe to our channel if you really want to. You can find us on Twitter where we are at WNG_MME_OPC, or head on over to our Facebook page where we are just the Wednesday Night Gentlemen. Thank you everyone for listening, and we will see you again on episode number 62 of this podcast.
Bye-bye.